Alright guys, welcome to another video, another Tommy NFG video. This time I'm gonna be reacting to We Cannot Do Another Pandemic. Obviously, this is a crazy freeze frame for Tommy. But yeah, let's get into the video.
I want you to take yourself back to a certain date in 2020. March 13th, 2020. I should add that this mostly applies to people in America. You woke up that Friday morning like every other Friday of that year. Dragged yourself out of bed to the bathroom to prepare yourself either for school or for work. While in school, your friend looks at you and says,
Yo, Uzi dropped the turn on take. You gotta listen to that.
you listen to it while in class to see if it is really hard, and indeed it is. This would be
He has a point there. But in 2020 I was at that time I was 13 years old and schools are closed. Let me just resume the video.
Lil Uzi's last good album, but you don't know that. As the day starts to end in school, the principal comes on the PA system and lets everyone know due to a little virus called COVID-19, school would be closed for 2 weeks. You cheer with...
But that's the issue with my school. My school said, fuck that shit. We're gonna continue for another week until you finish your fucking test. Which is bullshit, because what if a student died? I mean, no one died, but what if someone died? Yeah, I think that principal was racist, but let's
your
move on from
friends
that.
hype that you're basically getting a week break in the middle of the year for free, not knowing what it will turn into. If you worked a job, you either got an email from your employer that the company would be switching to remote work temporarily, or you got an email that you were fired and to get out immediately. This little virus would then turn into one of the worst pandemics to happen in over a century. And after it ended, the world all promised itself that we'd be prepared and this shouldn't happen not only in our century, but many to come.
Health officials
how
around the
wrong we
world
were.
are racing to contain a deadly outbreak of hantavirus that's linked to this
Exactly.
cruise ship in the Atlantic.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
fuck.
so if you haven't heard of it by now, we're having another bit of a virus issue around the world. Even not including COVID, it seems like every couple of years, there's always a virus panic hitting the whole world. In the 2010s, you had the Ebola pandemic, which happened in Africa, but cases spread all over the world. The most racist swore if they interacted with an African person, they would get it and die next week. I gotta admit, though, that Ebola song did kind of go hard. You had the measles outbreak in 2019, where a record amount of people were getting it around the world. In America, New York got hit the most, and there were 1,200 cases across 31 states. Crazy how this didn't matter, because next year's virus would make that outbreak look like a little cakewalk. And now the newest panic we have is this virus called the hantavirus. Here's some info. Hantavirus has been a thing since the 1950s and was fully identified by a doctor in 1978. There's been cases everywhere under the sun since it got identified. It's spread by the worst creatures we know, of course, rodents. And you get it by inhaling their waste in the air or by directly...
But why the fuck would you inhale? Okay, why the fuck would you inhale a rat's fucking poop? But okay,
touching it. Don't know why the
why would you
exactly
this guy
at
gets
that point, you just ask
I'm
for
gonna
the
glaze
test
this
and
guy
I don't
to
feel
like
bad.
that,
And it's
but
only
this guy
supposed to
gets
be
it.
from rodent to human.
He understands
cases
it.
started happening from human to human. They called it the
Okay.
Andes version of the virus, and the first case was identified in 1995 of someone getting it from human contact.
Wow,
it
that is
happens
back
here and there, but it's way
in the
more
day.
rare than getting it directly from rats yourself. So you may be wondering why everyone's panicking about it. Well, we can fully blame this dumbass who decided to make a video talking about a hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship he went on. His name is Jake Rosemarin, and he decided to go on a
So
cruise.
you're the reason people are fucking so scared and pissed off at the same time. But anyways, you're gonna get a shit ton of amount of hate. I'm trying new shit. I'm trying new stuff like singing. I'm a fantastic singer. Tell me how it is in the comments.
A bunch of other people from different countries. Not knowing that a couple had the virus, they brung it on the ship and all hell broke loose.
How the fuck did you have the virus,
Like, they
though?
must have been using today's sponsor Current to save up for this. If you've ever wished payday came sooner, this might actually...
Okay, I love you,
There's a
man,
bacon
but I
app
don't
called
support ads.
Fans straight to the sign and order your box for
Shout out to
75
Tommy though.
cents.
I'm
If you ever
crazy,
feel like
but shout
man,
out to
time
Tommy.
for it. So with him panicking because everyone got on the ship from it and one of the doctors got
Three
sick
people
treating
died?
someone. So with him panicking because everyone got told to quarantine until further notice, he made an update to the outside world talking about his experience.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, But
Okay, they should just make sure this guy doesn't post any content anymore, cause he's just making people even more stressed. Like I won't lie, I'll be panicking if I was dumb, I'd be panicking. I'm not dumb. I'm like a genius. I have an IQ of like 170. Yeah, facts. I'm not lying though. Yeah.
feel like I
Straight
need to
A
say
student.
something,
I'm
so I wrote a
lying.
few
I'm
things
lying.
down. I
And
am
no one's gonna
currently
know.
on board the MV Hondias,
Why
and what's
okay.
happening right now is very real for all of us here.
Why the
We're
fuck would you
not
make
just a
something
story.
like this?
We're not just.
This doesn't relate to the video at all, but I feel like he's gay. And the fact that he's gay, he's panicking a bit more, and that's okay. That's okay to panic a bit more. But I feel like it's just the fact that he's panicking way more because he's a bit gay. If he's not gay, he's a bit zesty. More zesty than me, but way more. What am I saying, man?
Headlines where people with families, with lives.
Mm,
Low-key, no one would have known
I
about
don't
this that
agree
much
with
if he
that.
didn't make the video, but now that's all anyone's worried about. People aren't over
Everyone's
a little
panicking
world
'cause of him,
stopping
you know?
moment from 5 to 6 years ago and don't want it again. It doesn't even take just this. Everyone was panicking when they announced a new strain of COVID like monkeypox. In a way, the whole world has World War II soldier PTSD on anything happening.
But I feel like the reason people panic is because of the news. The news makes it seem way more worse than it actually is, though.
Instead of hearing a helicopter and having a heart attack thinking you're in the war field, we hear a new virus dropped and have PTSD of Among Us and those TikToks of which he was
Among Us
sleeping
in
the hardest. And also
2020.
the lines he had in the videos was really pissing me off.
Man.
Because he said we're not just a story, we're people with families, lives, and friends. Like that isn't everyone in the world. Are y'all the only ones
That's
with
the
families
thing,
and
Tommy.
friends?
They don't fucking get you, man. They don't understand anything, man.
I don't even knew about the headlines and story until you made this video, buddy. People's first reaction to hearing the story was saying a couple of things. One being, do not dock the Pope because we don't want it to spread even more. Other people said just dock it at one
I
country
kinda
and
agree
don't
that.
let them leave until it's solved. There's also people saying,
Why
fuck it,
one country,
150
though?
people versus a potential 8 billion person pandemic. With a disease
You know what?
that's a
I feel like we should just try it. I just see what he put on the screen, and I feel like I could survive. I'm not a
40%
pussy.
fatality rate, might I add, and can lay dormant in you without you knowing for weeks. In the wise words a man once said,
He's rapping now. Nuke the whole generation. If it were up to me, I would drop an atomic bomb on the whole generation.
Y'all are about to get so mad at me, and I know I don't post like this. I usually would post on my other page, but like, truthfully, sink the ship. Sink the ship, okay?
Sink the ship. Sink it. I don't care. I've seen enough. Sink the fucking ship.
I better sink that shit
Understandable.
like it's a game of battleship. F2,
Oh, la, that is a bit understandable.
I'm not even trying to be insensitive, but we cannot do this right now. We cannot do this right now.
it seems like the general public is taking this well. The PTSD people have over COVID is beyond what people could think. If you said this pre-2020, people would have thought you
Too
were crazy and a
much.
bad person. But now there's a lot of people saying they genuinely don't care, whatever it takes to stop a potential pandemic. And even though scientists and health organizations are saying it's a low chance to turn into another COVID, didn't y'all hear that last time? If there was some horrible
said that?
scenario where it did somehow turn into a pandemic, this would be way worse. A 40% fatality rate is diabolical. You got a 4
I
in
think it'd
10
have
chance
more of a
dying. With
20% fatality rate, 10 to 20%, which is still a lot, but I think it would go down. Excuse me, but I think it would go down though.
COVID, unless if you were really old or really young, you didn't have to worry about it too much and could tank it. This would be a damn near mass extinction event in every country and there's still no cure. There's also other reasons I wouldn't want it to be a pandemic, at least in the US. There will be zero safety precautions set here. People could barely
Oh, yeah.
handle the last lockdown.
People in the US are literally crazy people.
And we're going
They're fun,
insane
though.
every day.
Crazy
And
people,
obviously,
though.
while it sucked for everyone, it was for a reason.
And
This time,
racist.
people are just gonna keep going outside every day and passing it like no tomorrow. We can guarantee there wouldn't be a lockdown order even if it was needed. We barely got one last time. The president was forced to do it by his team because people were dropping every day. And also, bleach didn't work as a cure.
Why the fuck did people think bleach was going to be a cure? I mean, man, maybe you're just not meant to be alive if you think bleach is going to be a cure, but yeah.
See the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute,
And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or?
Yeah, lockdown order or not, if I see thousands of dropping a day, my ass is staying inside. And even if there was a vaccine released, people wouldn't trust it and wouldn't take it. They think it's some secret plot to have everyone's blood injected with Satan's and at his will activate your chip and have you walk yourself to the pits of hell. People took one COVID vaccine and were doing the most, acting like their whole life was over and they never recovered. There was people thinking that they had permanent violent seizures because of it. It would be kind of funny if there did so happen to be a pandemic and certain people don't trust the vaccine released. Because this ain't like COVID, it's a 40% fatality rate. Your ass is just gonna die. Those 60-year-old MAGA boomers are gonna drop like flies. We also definitely are not getting COVID checks like last time. You're gonna have to thug it out, and if you can't make it and you don't have a job, it was a fun life for you, I guess.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
not like the check
Thug it out.
much though. Right
Just
now,
make
in
us
this
all
state
thug
of
it
the
out.
economy and around the world, we have certain problems going in certain parts of the world. Like people literally would not be able to afford to go through it again. At least pre-COVID, the economy was in decent shape. You can guarantee though, someone's boss is gonna say no to remote work and tell them they have to come in. Something also that would be annoying is having to get used to social interactions again. Everyone was low-key antisocial after the lockdown.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I got fucked over by lockdown. Because of lockdown, I kind of lost every single piece of social interaction I had. It got to the point that I was nervous just to talk to other people. Not even a fucking girl, just other people. Obviously, I have overcome that, but shit, lockdown fucked me up, man. I was literally moving like a virgin. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, I was moving like a virgin
Were lifted because
who
we
was
were
afraid of
inside
other
for
guys.
so long.
He
We
was
had to
not
learn how to
gay.
communicate again because it just felt weird. Maybe some
Yeah.
people did better, but I know for me it was rough. Transitioning from being on
Exactly.
Discord all day with the homies playing games.
I
not
mean,
touching a speck of sunlight.
I was never on Discord. Discord feels like a pedophilic app. I don't know if that's an actual word, but I feel like it should be a word. If it's not, I'm gonna make an inquiry to, what's that thing? Oxford Dictionaries. I know they're gonna listen to me.
Like, to driving places and hanging out in public was a bit of an adjustment. Some people say they still ain't recovered since
Got a
back then.
point.
Yeah, if you still think you're recovering from your antisocialness from COVID, you're probably just antisocial. It would also be horrible for the youth considering how much they got held back from it. Everyone older in Gen Z just barely made it out. Only 30% of Gen Alpha kids can read proficiently currently. Throwing them in
30%?
another lockdown in their childhood is going to be a death sentence. They might end up being the most failed generation by society's problems. I got hit by COVID in my junior/senior year, but at least I can say growing up through my core development years, I was good. I couldn't imagine my
Yeah, I got hit by COVID when I was, how old was I? I was 13 and 14. 13, 14. Yeah, 13, 14 years old. Between those 2 years. And I won't lie, it was terrible. Couldn't even socialize with anyone. I was stuck in my house, socializing with my mom and my sister the whole day. The only good part of lockdown was the fact that I had a baby nephew. That's the only good part. That's the only good
first
part
time
of
trying to
lockdown.
learn the ABCs was through a Zoom class. This time they're gonna have AI too, so all the kids are gonna cheat
They
on
have
their
AI.
science.
Oh,
The methods people
the
used to have to
fuck.
do in 2020 to cheat were
Right.
absurd. We became scientists in our own ways. People would pre-record them doing work on Zoom when they were sleeping. This fat guy in my gym class in high school decided to pre-record himself working out and just played it on loop to pass his class. That fat guy totally wasn't
Okay,
me or
man.
anything. That I didn't do that. People
You were fat? It doesn't look like he was fat. I hope he wasn't fat. I'm not being
smear
fat phobic
Vaseline
or
on their
anything,
cameras
but
and tell the
I hope he
teacher the
wasn't
camera
fat.
was broken so they could cheat. You don't need to do all that. Now that we got ChatGPT, it'll do the work for you. I do remember those Zoom times nostalgically, though. My teacher's classes got rated at least 7 times through the year. I'll end it off with some positive news, though. The reason why health organizations and governments are saying this won't be COVID 2.0 is because they have decades of research on this compared to COVID-19 that was brand new. So the world isn't starting with zero information on it and have to rush and figure out what to do. Also, since it's been contained to this one ship, it isn't jumping from hundreds of people to hundreds of people like before. If you were in the vicinity of someone with
Got a
COVID,
point
as you
there.
know, your fate to get it was guaranteed. I'll never forget the one time I got it. It was from one of my dumbass homies who decided to pull up.
You see, speaking about COVID, I never got COVID. Everyone in my family had COVID at one point, but I never had gotten COVID. Which is crazy because I lived with my mom during COVID. My sister, like I said, I lived with her for a partial part of COVID, then she moved out. But I lived with my mom. And my mom got COVID. Surprisingly, I went to get tested and I didn't have COVID. I'm telling you, I think I'm immune to COVID. I'm just that guy.
To the group meet with it without telling any of our friends any
They should fucking make a. I think they already have a vaccine. I don't know
even to
what I'm
literally
saying.
everyone there. With hantavirus, it's mainly people with romantic partners who get it or being around someone who's sick with it. So if you're lonely and get no play, pat yourself on the back. You may have just prevented yourself from dying. Who knew being a loser would save me and you?
Okay.
COVID also spread away faster than this, so we would see
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Please, don't do that shit. I'm not a loser. I just don't have any friends, have no social life, and have nothing at all, but I'm not a loser.
a lot more cases if it wasn't.
Have you guys,
I remember waking
right?
up and checking COVID cases. It would go from 3 to 10 to 200 to 1,000 to 10,000. And technically a mutation could happen to the virus and a new one could pop up. But most studies show when a virus gets mutated, it either stays the same or turns into nothing. At least hopefully that's the case, or
hopefully
humanity's in for one hell of an extinction event. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Everyone stay safe. Follow me on
No, that's the
Twitter,
end of the video.
Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually.
Love you too, man. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. Obviously, I don't know, I am using this man's content like there is no tomorrow, but yeah, thank you for watching the video, and